Hey y'all. Welcome to your new favorite show. I know, it's your new favorite show, Relate with Venjuda. I am your girl, the one, the only, Nzima Queen, Jasmine Venjuda. Today, I'm always excited about every show, but today I'm really excited because I have two of my favorite people here. Columbus's favorite interracial couple, okay? I have Esther right here on my left, and then I have Josh. Together, they make Mr. and Mrs. Sands. Hey, guys, how are you?
Fantastic.
Why'd you laugh whenever I say Columbus' favorite interracial couple?
It's just funny. He's the one that came up with it.
I am officially done with both of them. So today, I want us to talk about a lot of things, but first, I want to start with both of you. How did you both meet? I'll let you go first.
Fantastic. We met in college. We both went to Ohio State University. I refuse to emphasize the. I refuse. And we ran into each other in a commons area. I was ripping the sleeves off of an athletic shirt because I was making a costume for a friend, and she thought it looked cool. And she said hi, and I was smitten, and then that was it.
Oh, so it was love at first sight for you. Miss Esther, did you also fall the moment you saw blue eyes?
Okay, first
How
of
did
all,
it go?
Actually, they're gray, but...
Is that gray?
it's gray,
Oh,
but it
it's gray.
turns blue.
It
Sorry,
turns blue.
It's like a
though.
bluish gray.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, he was he was ripping the sleeve off, making a costume for somebody, but also he was wearing a suit, like not with the jacket, but with a vest. Yeah. And me, I'm always fascinated by anybody that wears a suit. So I said hi, and then we just started building friendship.
So from how long did it take from friendship to officially dating to, how does the steps go these days? Friendship to dating to relationship to, now being married. How did it go?
Well, I mean, if you want to call 2010 these days, 3 days?
But how long did it take you to know that this is the one?
Oh, probably about six months for me to really, because I wanted to be, take it slow. I wanted to make sure that, this was a person that I could really, be with, that I could, really trust, that would, support me, that would love me back. And so I wanted to take some time to really do that introspection work.
It's like, I'm going to go back and forth. What about you? Then I'll come at you just alone.
I don't remember. But no.
See, I'm the sentimental one.
No.
I'm the romantic.
She has no heart.
No.
Let's confess. I'm going to be on his side.
No, I think like I think
Let's
I
look
most.
at her. Go ahead.
I think I mostly fell in love with his mind. He's a very intelligent person, and we could have a conversation. Mm-hmm. So, and when it comes to the dating, I think it was when we went to officially dating. Mm-hmm. Yeah, about 6 months.
No, but I'm saying when did you know that this is the one? Because how long did it take you? Or you don't remember?
Like for me, it's more like it just naturally flowed into it because I just felt comfortable around him, and it was like I could tell him anything. Mm-hmm. So I guess it just was there.
It was just there.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, the reason I really wanted to have you both sit down because I wanted to know about the culture differences. I know both of you together. I always say you're more African than she is. You are more Caucasian than she is. But you are more you are more Ghanaian than she is. She's more Caucasian than you are.
Don't believe her.
I wanted to have that whole conversation and the culture clash. What was the shocks in the relationship? I'm just going to come to you more about this conversation. I'll come to you. You are very questionable right now since you don't remember.
I am not questionable.
I'll focus on him. So was it always like your idea to marry a black woman?
It wasn't top of mind. Like, melanin content was never a top of mind topic. I had a list that I developed when I was 10. And I think it's very important to really know what you're looking for in a partner. And then the first bullet point in that list was, somebody that was smart, and somebody that I could have a conversation with. And of course, she was very intelligent. She's a very intelligent woman. I could talk to her about a wide variety of topics. We were both very passionate about action movies and anime. And so that was a very big commonplace. And of course, the number 3 thing on the list was that I find a woman that also liked swords. And that was...
He was 10.
Look, it's worked out.
And nothing has changed.
No, absolutely nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing has changed.
So it was never a fetish, because I'll
No.
hear a lot of, Caucasian men saying, oh, my fetish is to be, and most of them is just more like a momentary thing. Like, I want to be with a bigger black girl. I want to be with a black girl just to experience the whole thing. So it was never a fetish for you.
No,
it was never.
It was the exoticism of that, difference was never something that drove me to focus on somebody of a, different cultural background. I will say there were signs. There were signs that you end up with a black girl? Yes.
Elaborate on that. Explain further.
The show that Tia and Tamara Mowry were in, Sister. I was definitely crushing on Tia and Tamara Mowry as a small 5-year-old. I thought they were cute. Cree Summers, who's a voice actress of at the time Penny from Inspector Gadget. I was a fan, and so I grew up in a very small town, like between cornfields. We are talking, and even though it was a small town, there were a few people that were not Caucasian. I'd befriended them. I was in those. I think honestly that's where we have this huge difference of interracial connection. There's just not a lot of white people just don't go to these spaces where minorities are. They just don't get that experience. And because I'd befriended a lot of people that did not look like me. I feel like that really helped make that happen.
So you feel like because you allowed yourself, you exposed yourself to other cultures compared to people in your community.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means he was meant to be with a black woman. No, but I'd say I want to ask you again. So how was it? What was the experience like?
Sure.
Let's say the day you drove home and you're like, Mom, Dad, I want to know, how did it go? Sure. Mom, Dad, I'm with I'm dating now, and they ask, oh, where is she from? Is she from our community? Yeah. And you're like, oh, no, she's from across the pond. Sure. She's from West Africa. Yeah. I want to know the experience, because I want to know your parents' experience before, like, the community, because mind you said you grew up in a small community. So it's like, I know where you grew up, where you were, but kind of, for people who don't know, like the small community, how did they also embrace that? Because it might have been, it was new to them. Maybe it was there, but like it wasn't as much, or people don't talk about it as much. So what was it like telling your parents and your family?
Sure. So when I would talk about her, I would talk about her by name. So I'd say, I'm seeing this girl, Esther. She's really cool, talking about different experiences that we've had in college, different things that we've done, and like, oh, it's pretty cool that you actually remember her name. That's a plus, because I'm really bad with names. So that was their first.
It was a sign.
That was the major sign for them, at least, that I was serious about this.
You should
person.
be very happy. He remembered your name. Please, do you remember my name?
Yeah.
Do we need to talk about this?
Yeah.
Because if you can't remember your little sister's name, we have a problem.
No. So I have a. Do you want to know how I remember your name constantly?
Yes.
Okay. Because you introduced yourself as Princess Jasmine, one and only.
Oh yeah, that is true. That is true. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I associate that with Jasmine from Aladdin.
Okay.
So then
it works out.
Yeah, it works out.
Okay, let's go back. We're good now.
So I tell them about her, different things that we had done, and then I of course mentioned that she's from Africa, or she's from Ghana originally, and so they I think for a little bit they might have thought I said Gehenna. Potentially.
Gehenna, Ohio.
So yeah, and they're like, oh, so after hearing Ghana a couple of times, like, so does that mean like she's black? And I was like, yeah, and So like they had not planned that for me. So that was a bit of a surprise. But no, they were very open and experiential about it. So I mean, they warmed up to the idea because it's I don't want to portray them in a bad light
They're
because
really
it was
cool
they are very cool people. It's just the fact of the matter is, like, we are farmers. We are conservative farmers. we are the people group one would least associate with interracial dating.
Yeah.
And I mean they were very open to it because they're very loving people, they're a very loving family, but much like with any parent who is experiencing their oldest child dating and going out and finding a potential life mate, they have concerns. And there's whether you feel it's applicable or not, there's love is hard. Love is a difficult thing to do. It is work. It is a day-by-day challenge to love someone.
Make a decision.
Even if you have a similar cultural background and you throw that on there, especially with what we see now on a day-to-day basis, and you add a compounding difficulty factor to that. Why would you want your child to potentially experience that? But the fact of the matter is, because of that farming background, we have an equally similar agricultural background, and we have an equally similar faith background, which I feel helps contribute to how well we work as a couple.
Before I ask about the community, I want to ask you real quick. How was it like when you met his family?
They were really nice. Like, for me, I guess I had that. I'm very open. Like, I love meeting people because I love experience and everything. So when I met them, I didn't really go in having anything in mind. I let people show me who they are. So when I met them, they were really, really cool people. It was comfortable.
Did he have to prepare you to meet his family? I
don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. No. No, I don't think he had to. I just figured that if he is who he is, he probably came from people who were very cool and nice.
Okay. Before we go to the community, let me jump real quick. How was it like meeting her? Okay, wait. Before I do that, what was it like telling your family about you dating a Caucasian man? Because you're Ghanaian. You're Ghanaian. What was it like, telling your parents, oh, I'm dating? Like, he prepared his parents pretty much. He gave them, I know you're not from Gehenna. Did you tell your parents he was from Kumasi somewhere?
No.
How did you prepare them?
No, I didn't really prepare them per se because I guess I've always been the odd child. So nobody really expected me to actually bring home a Ghanaian man.
Okay.
So, like, nothing that I did, I think I was just a different child. I wasn't like the normal Ghanaian child. So, and according to my mom, when I was born, a man came up to her and told her that I'm an American baby. And that's all the person told her. And we ended up here. So to them, I don't think they expected me to marry anybody in our culture. So when I brought Josh home, I don't think it fazed them. They just wanted to make sure that his family accepted it. That was their main concern, that his family were okay with it and they were good and they were good people. That was all they expected.
What was it like meeting her family? Because, there were two crazy people in her family,
Too crazy.
What was it like meeting her family? Like, what was the feeling like? Did she prepare you? How did you feel when you met them?
I mean, it was just typical. I feel like it was a typical first family meeting. You always have that underlying awkward
I want to know
sense.
the questions they asked.
They didn't.
Wow.
No. Like, her dad said hi, and then I think he walked away almost immediately after.
My dad is very quiet.
He's a very quiet fella. And
my mom is the one we get the bubbliness from.
Yeah. And I feel like, she was very welcoming. I honestly don't really remember anything outrageous from that first meeting. Like it wasn't that.
It was
big
just
of a-
normal.
Yeah.
How are you?
Sure.
You know, what's your intentions for
Sure.
my daughter? Did you get that part?
No, I didn't. I
Wow,
didn't.
you really got an different Ghanaian experience, because the normal is, what do you want from my daughter?
We started as like we were friends.
Right.
So when I brought him home, he was my friend.
Also, okay.
We weren't really like, for me, I wasn't somebody that will hide my friends, because I'm someone that doesn't hide who I am. So the moment we started like talking and like being friends, he came home.
Yeah, I get the part he came. My more is like the moment you had to tell your parents, this is the man I want to marry, or he proposed.
This is the only guy I brought home. So they figured that was it.
So it's like they already planned your wedding.
No, they already knew that was it. Like, cause I didn't really, I wasn't very social. I wasn't a social butterfly. I didn't bring a bunch of friends home, and the friends that I brought home, he's the only. I think I didn't really bring a lot
Anybody
of people home.
Oh wow. Okay, so now let's go back. The community. You know, what was your experience? I want to do the opposite. Then we'll come to your community. What was the experience like? You know, she goes to she's Christian, going to her church or meeting the people around. Now you've met the family. They're cool. You know, a lot of times they said the family is cool, but the people around are sometimes more extra than the family. What was it like meeting her community?
Sure. So I think that is an experience that I really wish more people with my background, my skin tone would have, where they go into a space where they are that only person in the room, that other, that like, because I went into her church space because that was her community. So like I go into this crowded, small Ghanaian church where, it's very loud. I mean, as a Methodist and going to a Presbyterian church, I mean, that alone is shock enough, but you add...
But there's difference. Ghanaian Presbyterian
absolutely.
is completely different.
Sure.
And
absolutely.
Ghanaian Methodist and
American
it's
Methodist.
completely different.
So like I come from a place where, and you just, you show God you love him by being quiet. Like how quiet you are is directly proportional with how respectful you are. Right.
But then God is the opposite.
Yeah. So that was definitely a culture shock, and I think that that feeling of otherness has really informed a lot of my feelings towards a lot of these more politicized issues that we come across, because there's that experience that I think that all people need to feel, and as a white person you don't get that otherness. Like you don't experience that being the only person that looks like you in a room, but going into a space where not only am I the only white person, I'm the only everybody else is speaking Chi. So like there's an additional component of like I don't understand most of what anybody else is saying.
So even when they're cursing you out,
sure, exactly.
God bless you.
Sure. So I would usually go by laughing cues. Like if somebody was laughing in my presence, I'd have to like kind of laugh too.
Laugh.
Yeah, because I mean somebody said something funny, so I got to at least sort of pretend like I understood what was happening around me.
Oh wow! But did you feel accepted, or did you feel like they were accepting you because you were there? But did you actually feel, because people can pretend to accept you, or people can make it seem like we are accepting this person.
Sure.
Even though you didn't need the acceptance, but did you feel, let me use the word welcome. Did you feel welcome, or did you feel like people were just putting up a front?
No, I definitely felt welcomed, but like I go into situations not trying to analyze the behind the scenes of what individuals are doing. Like I try not to put a lot of thought energy into that. So if they are putting on a welcoming front, that's fine enough for me.
You don't care.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I thought it was good.
How did you feel when you were officially in his community? I want to, before I ask him about how his community felt about it, I really want to know how you felt about it. Like he said, when he came to the guy, he felt different. He was the only Caucasian man in the building, that didn't speak Chi, right? When you went to his community, did you feel like, because a lot of times we hear Black women saying, when I went into, the white community looked at me funny, they mocked me, yada yada, or they made inappropriate jokes. Did you feel that way, or how did you feel about that situation? How when you met his community, not just the family, the church, friends?
I mean, I wouldn't say I felt any like weird way or anything like that. It was different because it was more get up, sing the hymn, sit down. I'm used to praises, worship, stand, dance. You hear loud, like pastor preaches with oomph, you know? Yeah.
3-hour services.
Exactly. Like longer services. His was what, an hour?
An hour.
And it was done. I mean, I enjoyed that.
Yes.
It was quieter. It was quieter than I'm used to. But I'm like an introverted, quiet, like most of the time person. So that wasn't a big culture shock. It wasn't also a big culture shock because of where I grew up when I was in America, Westerville. When we first came here and the school we went to was mostly Caucasians. So it wasn't a big culture shock because it prepared me to go into anywhere having a mindset of just let the person show you who they are instead of having assumptions of if they're looking at you weird. To me, I look at people as if they're looking at me weird, they're looking at me with fascination and want to know more about me. So unless they come up to me or like have like a certain expression that specifically tells me that they dislike me or anything like that, I don't assume in that sense. Sometimes you can feel it though. Yeah. But I didn't feel that way.
But you didn't feel people staring at you, people questioning like, who is this dark-skinned girl in our community? Because I have a feeling, because since he said a small community, so you were pretty much the only dark-skinned person, if I may ask.
Yes, pretty much when I went to the church, yes, I was the only dark-skinned person. But I have been in situations in rooms where I've been the only dark-skinned person, so it wasn't a big shock to me in that aspect. And I just let the people show me who they are. So yes, people were probably staring at me because I was the only black person, a dark-skinned person. But to me, it was more of like, I'm visiting them for the first time. So they will be curious about why I was there.
Okay. How was your community about it? Did people come to you and question you? Nobody?
No.
Oh, wow.
No.
They're very calm people.
That's true.
They're mostly.
Yeah, as long as the crops aren't flooded, there's not a big hubbub.
So since I cannot with you. Since we've spoken about more of like meeting each other's family, I want to talk about culture shock. Being a black woman, we are very, I would say high maintenance, but I would say things are different for us. From our hair to how we take care of our skin to the whole yada yada. You are married to one. How long have you guys been married? Before I even skip, how long have you guys been married? I don't even want to ask how long you've known each other. I'll say married.
I want my loving wife, whom I trust, to answer.
He's doing this on purpose. Let him answer. You asked him.
I think it's 7.
It's 7.
I'm gonna just say 7 for your sake because I know both of you.
It's 7. I just needed to count backwards.
I had to do the math for them. They're married, but I know how long they've been married.
It's 7. We've known each other.
Wow.
For more than that.
Well, I'm pretty much a third wheel for them, so it works out. It works out perfectly.
Yeah, we've known each other for 12 years.
Oh,
married
wow.
7 years, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. But let's go back. Before I start asking other marriage questions, let's go back. Her culture, her Ghanaian culture, was it different for you?
Other than the bright colors and the spicy food, no.
Hold on.
And the fact that we eat with our hands.
Let's go back.
Yeah, I guess there is that, yeah.
Oh, wow. So besides her culture, what about herself too? What was different? What did you have to learn? Because I have read situations that I think with this whole Black Lives Matter coming, I don't want us to go more into race and stuff, but with so many things coming up, I've heard interracial couples coming out saying, I had to teach my husband, who's a Caucasian man, about my hair, about why I can't use certain pillows or why I have to wear a bonnet to sleep. Because most Caucasian people don't know much about bonnets and protecting. Because it's something that is most of them are learning now, or we're being open to that experience. What was it like experiencing, her culture, like you said, the brightness and the food.
Yeah.
But which you embrace it very well, I think, now.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I've always embraced it.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm more hesitant to embrace is the heat when going to Ghana once we go.
He doesn't like heat
that's
at
going
all.
to be an adjustment that I have to.
No, you will enjoy it. You will not want to come back. I promise you that. The heat, good luck with that.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll get a lot of sunscreen.
That's what I'm worried about.
Hand fans will work out for you.
Yeah.
But then did anything that she does, it was a new experience. You've never married, you're now moving in with this person.
Right.
Her lifestyle is different from what you're used to. You have a sister.
Yeah.
So what your sister does compared to what your wife does, it was different from you.
Yeah.
How did you adapt to it? And what was it like for you? What was your first experience with it? And how did you feel about it? And then the process to adapt into it.
I mean,
sorry, that was a lot in one.
Yeah.
But how?
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I'd already known that this was going to be the person that I was going to spend the rest of my life with. So, I actually learned about the hair chart on a podcast before we even talked about it.
Wait, what?
The hair chart.
You took time to learn the hair chart.
Well, no, I mean, I was listening to a podcast called The Stoop, and they talked about the hair chart, and I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, yo, do you know about this? And she was like, what do you mean the hair chart?
Oh, wow.
No, because I do my own hair.
Right.
I handle my own hair. So I didn't really pay attention to, the whole, what your porosity is or, anything like that. I just did my hair like I wanted it.
Yeah.
He was shocked, though, that it takes longer to
That's true.
wash my hair.
The weekly washings was like
the hours.
That was different.
What do you mean?
I mean, look, I take a 5-minute shower and I am done.
Let me guess. Please give me a time. How long did it take for her to shower?
Well, no, her showers are 10, 15 minutes, manageable. Okay. But I mean,
the hair washing.
the day hair washing.
Oh yeah,
deal.
Washing our hair is a process.
Yes.
It's 3-hour process.
Yes,
right. It takes time. Like wash day, you don't go nowhere.
Yep, wash
I'm
day.
Staying at home.
Right.
And you pamper yourself.
Did you question God? What did I get myself into? I have a feeling you did.
I mean, 3 hours is a lot. I got ADD. I can't focus on hair for look, you want to know how long it takes me to focus on my hair? Done.
Do that whip again. Do it. Give it.
Done. I wake up in the morning, I do that, I'm set to go.
And
I can't do that.
We can't do that. We have to.
Unless I have a wig that I'm popping on, I can't do that.
Even that
I have to make sure it looks good, it's sitting right, it's not going to be snatched off. If it gets snatched, it's going to stay in place.
Give us the done one more time. Yeah. And done. It's the and done for me, okay? Because I'm done. Watch out. I'm doing a whole TikTok like that. But now, besides everything, the culture shock, I think, what was your experience like getting to know his culture? Because like he said, he explained about the church. Mm-hmm. It was more calmer. It was more chill, your church,
No, it's not.
Our church.
Our church is not.
It's not. What was the culture shock being in the house with him? Because I know did you all live together before marriage?
No.
So what was it like, moving in? Like he had to experience the spicy food, the 3 hours on just washing your hair. Mm-hmm. And what about wigs? Before I ask her question, wigs, what was it like for you with wigs?
I'll never financially recover from this.
Girl, you've emptied the man's account. Wow.
It's wigs, okay? And I don't even buy human hair wigs. It's more synthetic.
Why do you need more wigs than days of the week?
Because I need to be a different person when I feel like it. I dress according to how I feel, okay?
He called me off guard. He said, I would never financially recover from it. Okay. He caught me off guard. Please, leave the man's account alone, okay?
Okay, we've been married a while. He should accept this by now, okay? It's not going to change.
She said the first time.
I know, the first time, because I know he wasn't used to wigs
he's good. He's good now.
At this point, you're used to it.
Yeah,
you even encourage
because he gets a different wife every time I wear a different wig. It's like, it keeps it spicy. It keeps it,
let me stop it here before these two
It keeps it.
start something on my table that I'm not prepared for. Let's just get back on track because I don't trust you. Both of you. I
We
don't
didn't
trust,
do anything.
I don't trust it. Because when you said spicy, his neck went. So, what was the culture experience like meeting her, moving in with him? You're married. What was it like? Seasoning. Let's please add the seasoning.
Okay, so that part I introduced to him before we got married.
You introduced Maggie Cube to him.
Food,
Yes.
all the food. Like he was good with spicy by the time we got married because first of all, I ate with my hands because I'm somebody that didn't want to pretend from the start.
How did you feel about that?
I didn't mind.
You didn't care?
No.
Oh wow,
That
okay.
wasn't a big deal for me.
Yeah, I didn't really represent myself as somebody else. I never really wear makeup unless like for events and stuff. And I didn't try to wear makeup every day when I needed it, like when we go on dates or anything like that. It was just me. If my hair was short at the time, that's what you get. If I feel like wearing a wig, that's what you get. I didn't try to pretend to be somebody that I wasn't. So when it came to showing him who I was or like the food or spicy stuff, I'll let him try it. And the good thing is he was open to trying it. And then if he didn't like it, he will like truthfully tell me that I don't like the texture or I don't like this. His favorite Ghanaian food is wache. That's his favorite food. He tried to make it once at home. And listen, that's the same face I gave him. That was the same face.
Look,
That was the same face. I'm like, you could tell me to make it. Why would you even? And I came back and pretty much he has just spoiled rice and beans for no reason. And then I had to make it again.
Wait. He was trying to look for the color, wasn't he?
Not even the color. It just didn't come out right like it should be. And I'm like, and he told me to make it.
2 seasonings that weren't in the recipe.
Okay, first of all, I don't think he looked at even the right recipe.
Your ancestors are not my ancestors.
Well, you didn't even look at the recipe.
He said it right. It was.
That's why you have me. That's why you let me
He
know
didn't feel like
to
asking
make
you.
And that's why I ended up doing it anyway.
So what was the point? But no, what was? Please do not attempt it again. Okay. Wait, have you tried attempting it after the first one?
Yeah. I found a couple of really good recipes.
Don't believe him.
No, don't worry. I'll prepare it for you sometime.
Thank you.
Look, you've seen my food.
Well, I trust your coffee. I don't trust you.
Oh.
His salmon, like
And the salmon was good.
is legit. Like, okay, we've trained him in the he already gets the spices. That the spices we started before we even because he knew me. I don't like bland food. I enjoy my food very well too.
I'll put my stomach on the line for the viewers. I promise I will come back and give you an update. Josh, you're going to make me watch it. Watch it with what? Great. Fish or goats?
Salmon. I'll
We'll just try salmon.
Because that way at least one thing on the plate.
Because we don't eat watch it with salmon. But for Josh's sake, I'll eat watch it with salmon. Okay. I got you guys. I will tell you if I use Pepto-Bismol or I was okay. I have faith. She doesn't have faith. I have faith.
First of all, I do. I just
it's
leave
okay.
the stuff that you want to me.
Okay.
I will make those.
You just said you don't have faith.
He has different stuff that he's good at making. And listen,
you don't have faith. It's okay.
Fine, whatever you say.
I'll put my stomach on the line.
I hear you.
It's a family affair.
I hear you.
I got you, viewers. But no, besides the food, you training him, he's doing good. What was the culture shock? What was it about him when you guys moved together? You're like, gee, why didn't they warn me about Caucasian people?
The fact that he thinks snacks are food is still weird to me till this day. Like, and how can you eat raw veggies?
Oh, raw veggies are delicious.
Why is that a thing?
I'm Ghanaian and I eat raw veggies.
Okay, first of all, I grew up with everything being pureed into soup or stew. And the veggies that we ate was like carrots, peas. Why?
He grew up on a farm.
I grew up
he had to taste everything.
I grew up with farmers.
But he grew up on the farm. You grew up with farmers. He grew up on the farm.
I went to the farm too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'll go to the farm.
She did nothing, guys.
All of it. Like, I'll carry firewood back home and everything.
She did nothing.
But no, like, that was weird to me. But that's because me, I grew up with purees. No. And the veggies wasn't like raw veggies.
Let
Wasn't
me guess. Now you are a raw veggie queen.
not entirely.
Oh, he said no. Quick.
Broccoli, carrot, peas, onions.
I've never seen you eat
That's
a raw
about it.
pea in my life.
Not raw. Ooh, no. No.
You have to saute it and season it.
Exactly. Added twist too.
For her. Wow, you did bad at training her. But anyways,
But he thinks chips and salsa are a full meal. I'm like,
They
how
are
is that a
absolutely
thing?
a full meal.
appetizer.
That's
for us.
appetizer. That's a snack.
Preparing the
full-
meal for
Yeah,
the watching.
Exactly. That's a snack, but he thinks that's a full meal. Eating chopped like tomatoes with like a little bit of salt on it, it's a meal.
So nice.
How is that a thing?
So nice.
I have faith in you, but it's like right now, it's like it keeps the scale keeps going down.
Like,
Like,
how is that a thing?
wow.
Yeah, so that was the big.
I mean, Gloria is also a snacker.
Yeah,
But
at
have you
least
seen
she
the
eats.
bowl of foods that she
Okay, yeah,
eats?
that's true.
And Gloria
That's
is,
true.
by the way, our little
Little
sister.
sister.
She eats
That's
though.
true. That is true. She does eat.
Wow. Anyways, with that, but anyway, before the let's just
I don't think like when it came to like any culture shocks, like living with each other, there was much.
because you guys were friends for a while,
Yeah,
so you knew each
and
other.
we were comfortable with each other.
That's
And,
true.
yeah, and to me, like I have the mentality of if I'm married to somebody, I need to be a certain comfortability, and because we were friends and we built that bond, it just felt natural.
Okay.
And we understood each other, and we went in discussing what we wanted and what we didn't want, or what we could compromise on, and our ideologies and stuff like that. So it wasn't a big change. It was pretty much like best friends who love each other ended up living together.
Okay, so let's at least we've gotten to know backgrounds, how you met, moving in with each other. I want to get a little personal, and with your permission, you said it was okay to get a little personal. I want to talk about culture clashes, especially when it comes to marriage and having children and the yada yada yada. You guys have been married for 7 years, which I was the one that figured out how many years they've been married. I'm proud of that. Please let me carry that badge. But 7 years, no kids, right? Yes or no?
No.
No kids. I really want to talk about it because being Ghanaian, I will not come more on you because I will come towards you because I know my people. I don't know, the Caucasian, like the culture that much, but I know Ghanaian culture. Do you both feel, before I even ask the question, do you both feel pressured? If you do, explain why. Like, do you both feel pressured to have children?
I mean, not necessarily from my side.
So I guess I should come on your side. From your side.
Well, it's just how it is. Like literally the Sunday that we went for the Thanksgiving church, which is we got married on a Saturday, and then we go to church on Sunday to thank the church for
Was
coming.
that a culture shock?
Not too much.
Okay.
No, because I mean, we got married in her church as per the tradition.
The dowry he had like qualms about a little bit.
Well, yeah.
Okay, I will do a whole other show. I really want to know about that part, how you feel about dowries, because
Yeah.
I've asked a few Caucasian people and they have their own perception about. I might ask before we leave, but yeah. So Sunday,
The Sunday we go to church, and somebody asked, "When are you gonna have kids? Now that you're married?" And he was about to fight them.
pull up,
And I said, "It's okay."
hold on, you get married
The
Saturday.
next day.
The next day.
Me, I was already expecting it, so I was like, you know what, just calm down, honey.
You're going too fast. You got married Saturday.
The Sunday, the next day,
I don't think it was a full 24
4 hours. It wasn't 24 hours because we go to church like what was it 10
Yeah.
10 a.m.
Hold on, were they expecting like the moment you say I do, the next day you show up?
Pregnant, yes.
Oh yeah,
It's the African way.
Because you're not supposed to, you're not supposed to have marital or premarital
but
relations.
but then
But then when you're married, you're supposed to just
I'm pregnant. The math and
Math.
mathing people. But no, so the pressure was more from your people.
they'll ask, like, when are you having? I was like, okay. I don't really like, and my parents didn't do that until like recently when they'll be like jokingly like, I'm like, Mom, it's good. Don't worry about it. You have enough grandchildren for now.
I think that's really what helped her family at least.
Because
there are other grandkids.
Like if I was the oldest and then that would be a big, but I have like 4 other people in front of me who have kids, so they have grandkids to entertain them. But I mean, they still ask for it because we're the only interracial couple.
Oh, wow.
And they want grandkids.
Does that make you guys feel pressure that, we have to have kids, we have to have kids?
We don't pressure ourselves.
Yeah.
Like,
it's more of an annoyance.
To him.
To me. I want to make that clear. When our niece says, "When are you going to have a baby, uncle?"
Our niece just loves babies. Our niece just loves babies.
Oh, wow.
But like I don't take that pressure on because that is also another level of mental things that I already expected that to come. But I don't want to, and I think he feels the same way. I didn't want to, at the time, I wasn't mentally prepared, and even mentally I needed to grow up. I needed to understand myself and love myself. And now I'm starting to do that, but I didn't want to be a child, bringing into the world a child.
You made a very key point that a lot of times we don't think about it. You said, I wasn't mentally ready.
I mean, I did.
The reason why I bring that up is because, like you said, the next day after getting married, you're already asking when you're going to have kids. You both, maybe, let's say, are mature enough to handle it. And I feel like maybe with the different cultures also helped.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
Oh, yeah, it did.
I honestly feel like if it was with the same culture as you would have been under a lot of pressure from his family. Yes. But you said a key word that most people don't think about. It says, I wasn't mentally ready. Because if you had, right after, because they were pressuring you, just gave birth. Yeah. What type of mother will you be? What type of father? What type of child are you raising? Exactly. So I feel like that needs to be really spoken about. Yeah. When you're not mentally ready, don't do it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, most times people are like, oh, you would never be mentally ready. But you will be mentally at a state where you're like, I feel like it's time. I can handle this. But if you're not in a place where you even feel like you're grown enough, or you're mentally at a place where you can handle another human being, this isn't a pet
that you can give away tomorrow.
Yeah. This is a whole human being that you have to feed, you have to emotionally, spiritually, physically support. And people go into marriages and stuff with the fantasy in mind of everything will work out. But they don't realize it's work. Like, you put forth the effort and the work to achieve what you want to achieve at the end of the day. It's like everything in life. But people go into marriage thinking it's happily ever after. You create your happily ever after. So when it came to her asking, oh, when are you going to have kids? I said, oh, when God permits. Because I'm not going to insult you.
I will.
I figured.
I will. No, because people don't. That bothers me. Do you know why that question bothers me so much? Is because I have friends who are married now, who it took a long time because of medical conditions for them to have children. And a lot of times we ask this question without thinking. Yep. What are they going through medically? Are they financially ready? Are they mentally ready? Exactly. So that's the reason why that question really bothers. And me, if anybody asking, I've said it to somebody before. Somebody was asking my friend when they will have a child, and I hopped in and I said, your friends are dying. When will you die? Till today, the woman doesn't talk to me. Savage. The reason why I did that, because for years my friend was struggling, like multiple miscarriages that people didn't know, but because I was her friend behind the scene, I saw it all.
Yeah, and it adds to the emotional, what she's already going through.
When she went home, that day she broke down. in front of me. Like, thinking about it, I'm about to tear up. She broke down, and we don't think about it. You ask this question freely without knowing what the couple is going through. Even if it's the day after their wedding, you don't know what has happened prior to them getting married. So we need to do better, especially my African community. Before I come to you, my African community, that's one thing we need to do better. It is not your business. It is not your place to ask.
You're not going to babysit.
You're not taking care of the child.
Yeah.
So if you ask this question, before you ask, please ask yourself, your mates are dying. When is it going to be your turn? We have to really let's stop pushing the whole pregnancy on people. Not everybody wants to have a child.
Yeah. And how is it any of your business? Like, are you handling your home? Have you looked at your life to try and criticize somebody? You criticizing somebody based on if they've had a child or not? Is it something that's coming from you, the person asking that question? Is it because you have something that you don't want to deal with, so you want to deal with somebody else's issue first? And you're right. If somebody is going through a lot of trauma, like, the body is what is supposed to house the child. If that body isn't healthy, or mentally, if the person isn't in a healthy place because of the pressure and everything around them, how are they supposed to make a good system, a good body to hold or house that child?
I'm about to wrap up, but I really want to ask you, with the whole, when will you have a child, with them asking, because I know your family, there's no pressure. They don't really care when you have a baby. Cool. If you don't, cool. How do you feel when people address her? Has anybody ever addressed you? From her community, anything? Have anybody ever addressed, besides your niece, asking, because she's a special one?
I think when it comes to him, they're a little bit more reserved.
Yeah. Has anybody ever asked you, though?
Nobody has asked me directly or when she is not around.
They always ask when you're both together.
Exactly. Well,
they're scared of the Caucasian.
Exactly.
But how do you normally feel whenever they ask her that question?
I mean, I don't throw around the word righteous indignation very often, but I might now in this instance.
I can't. I'm going to just hold it in. Joshua, behave. Oh, wow.
Look, I mean, come from a farming community where we're a fan of not your business.
He's like, it's not your business.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's just, look, your involvement with this child's life, I mean, depending on the person, and normally it's just people asking this question is, church members that, are we see maybe like once a week or something like that. Yeah. So, I mean, like, your involvement in this potential child's life is going to be minimal. So, like, I guess the appropriate answer is, how often will you babysit?
If you can give me for free, give me that info and I will have a baby for you. No, I am thankful. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. I really want to bring you guys back because I really want to go into depth about more of like racial things, especially with the society that we are in. Because both of you come from a different culture, different backgrounds, different cultures, and coming together, I really want to do another show to elaborate more about the racial experiences, because we have, as much as we want to avoid it, we still have to deal with it. Have you guys been in situations? But we will do another show on that. But for that, I just want to say thank you to both of you.
Thank you for having us.
Here. Thank you. I really do appreciate you guys are amazing. Remember, dear, Columbus's #1 or favorite interracial couple. Okay, according and that's on period. According to him. I support him. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. No, but thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Sands, for being here today. I'm really grateful. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching Relate with Venjuda once again, and I'll catch you all next time.
And
bye-bye.
Done.
And done.